If you just want to get bigger, eat more. But if you want to have a larger, more muscular-looking physique, it's not quite that simple. Now, I'm not a big guy, but when people look at me, I want them to be able to tell I lift. This should be a natural side effect of getting into shape, but there are specific muscles that, when developed, will help make us stand out, giving us the appearance of being larger than we are. Before we go any further, I need to emphasize the importance of posture. This is the very foundation of what we are building muscle on. If our foundation isn't right, we aren't going to look right. No matter how much muscle we build, if our shoulders are rolled forward and our upper back makes us resemble the hunchback of Notre-Dame, we're not going to look impressive. To fix our upper body posture, I would recommend face pulls. These can be done with dumbbells while lying on an inclined bench, with bands, or on a cable machine. One thing you need to make sure you do when you're doing a face pull is to pull your shoulder blades back and together with each repetition. Face pulls fix our posture by strengthening our mid-traps, rhomboids, external rotators, and rear delts. This brings us to the first muscle group that makes us look big, our shoulders. Developing all three heads of our shoulders is essential. Most people who are weight training regularly have good anterior delts, which is the front of the shoulder, and all our pushing movements, bench press, shoulder press, and push-ups, work them pretty hard. The back of your shoulders or your posterior delts get worked with your pulling movements, although I find they need more work. For the extra work, I recommend chest-supported rear delt flies. The bench is set lower for this movement, and you perform it by raising your arms at 90 degrees to your body. If you have trouble feeling it in your rear delts, try lowering your arms to just below 90 degrees, as I feel it more in my delts this way. Just don't go lower than 45 degrees, as your lats will start to take over. Our lateral delts could virtually always use more work. And once again, we can use chest-supported flies to accomplish this. We just have to raise the angle of the bench to 75 to 80 degrees. This will shift the emphasis onto the lateral delt, and by leaning on the bench, it improves our form, keeping us from using momentum to swing the weights up. Another exercise I like is the full range of motion lateral raise. What this one does is as your arms move above the shoulder, it becomes an upper trap exercise. I was a long neck kid, and I would still have a giraffe neck if I didn't build my traps. The next muscle group that makes us look big is arms. This came in third in a poll I did in my community page, but I'm bringing it up second because when I asked my wife what body part she thought made a man look bigger, she right away said arms. The biggest muscle group on the arm is the triceps. For this muscle, it's best to hit it in both the stretched and contracted position. For the stretched position, I like the overhead tricep extension. This can be done with cables or bands. This position emphasizes the long head of the triceps, which is the largest head, providing our arm with more size than any other muscle on the upper arm. This movement is easier on my shoulder than many other exercises that work the triceps in the stretched position. For the contracted position, I'm going with the triceps rope pull down. With the rope, you can extend your arm back farther than you could with a straight bar, giving you a better contraction. When viewing your arm from the side, most of the size is triceps, but the last portion is the bicep, with the long head being seen from the side. A great exercise to hit the long head is the dumbbell drag curl. With this exercise, you bring the dumbbell straight up alongside your body, and as you raise up, your elbow moves farther behind you, creating a strong peak contraction in the bicep. From the front, it's the short head of the bicep that gives it its width and thickness, creating a larger looking arm. The two ways you can emphasize the short head is to do curls with our arms slightly in front of us, like when we do a spider curl. The second way is to use a wider than shoulder width grip when you do curls. I combine the two movements when I do a squatting cable curl to put as much stimulus on the short head as possible. The body part that got the second most votes was the chest. At first, I was surprised by this, but when I thought about it, it made sense. As no matter how wide you look from the front, if when you turn sideways you disappear, you're not going to look big. A muscular chest adds thickness to your upper body. To find out how to build a more muscular chest at home, watch this video next. That way, we can keep working out while looking large and, of course, having fun. This is Lawrence from Fit and 50. We'll talk to you again in the next one.